Good evening. It is February the 25th, 2017. This is our last weekly weather briefing in the month of February and the last one for meteorological winter. Meteorological spring begins on March the 1st, and that is 6 days away from us. And we are, no, sorry, that is 4 days away from us, and we will already be into meteorological spring. Hard to believe. It seems like just yesterday I was forecasting the winter forecast, and now we are already heading into spring very, very fast is how time moves. Here's the current temperatures across the purchase area this afternoon. Look at these. These are in the upper 30s to lower 40s. You can tell Paris, Tennessee down here in the upper 30s right now. They tend to be a little bit cooler than surrounding spots. I think they have a little bit less pollution down in that area. It keeps them from their temperatures being as warm as surrounding areas, but you can tell that temperatures area wide are pretty much below average in the low to mid 40s, even some upper 30s around the area. So our normal high temperatures for this time of the year are around 50 to 51, 52 degrees, and we are about 10 degrees below that in some areas, about 8 degrees below that in other areas. So you get the idea. Below average temperatures is the general rule this afternoon. Tonight we will continue to see those below average temperatures. We will see lows dipping into the mid to upper 20s tonight, accompanied with some light winds. We could see some frost developing, and that could kill some of those sensitive flowers or plants or even some insects that have already began to come out and think that it is spring. I know this past week was absolutely phenomenal. Now, we were forecasting this. I was forecasting this past week to be above normal in the temperature department, well above normal, and that did most certainly happen. We did have a couple of rainy days, but other than that, I mean, even those rainy days with clouds in the area, those pesky clouds, still temperatures were above normal, and that is very difficult during the wintertime to have clouds around and still see above normal temperatures. Very, very odd also that we didn't have any severe weather. You usually don't get a whole spans week of warmth like we had this past week in the middle to end of February and not have severe weather accompanied with it. We did have severe weather accompanied with the storm system that brought it into these warm temperatures, but that was off to the north and east of here. Our area got just as warm as areas that had severe weather, yet we didn't have any severe weather. The materials didn't come together just in time for our area or our neck of the woods to experience that. Thank goodness that we didn't have to deal with those, so we got warmth and no severe weather. You don't get that a whole lot during the winter time. That was a win-win for some of you who love this kind of warm weather. Now, going into the morning hours of Monday morning, we do have a couple of light raindrops that are in the forecast. I can't rule out a sleep pellet mixed in there, but you wouldn't notice it, and more than likely it will not happen. But I just want to go ahead and give you the heads up that there could be a sleep pellet or two mixed in there, because I don't want one to be mixed in there and it not be in my forecast. So I'm going to mention it, even though the odds of that happening are very, very low. Here we move into Tuesday and Wednesday, where the ingredients are beginning to come together for possible severe weather. I'm not sure if we're going to see any or not, but the ingredients are looking like we do have potential to see severe weather. We will have to wait and see how things materialize in the weather models between now and Wednesday. It looks like Tuesday and Wednesday are the 2 days that we're going to have to keep a close eye on. The Monday morning system doesn't look to be energetic enough to produce any severe weather, but it's the Tuesday and Wednesday system that we're going to have to keep a very close eye on. If I had to pick a day, it would be Wednesday that we would have to focus more on severe weather. Why not enter March the 1st on Wednesday with some bad storms rolling through the area? That would be appropriate for March, but we will just have to wait and see. Once we get past that storm system, we will see some colder air filtering back into the region, and we will have a series of light clipper systems that will be diving out of the north and west. We will have to keep a very close eye on them. More than likely, they will go to the north and east of us, but just in case one or two of them happen to slip down in here, I'm going to go ahead and mention that. And then things get a little bit interesting. Once we head into next Monday, it looks like we have a big surge of Arctic air coming into the area. The GFS model has been very bullish on it. The European model is not seeing it. And we do have the Canadian model that is back and forth on it, as it always is. And you can tell that the GFS is forecasting the 540 thickness line all the way down into northern parts of Mississippi and Alabama, even getting close to the Gulf Coast and portions of Savannah, Georgia. So that would be very deep cold air moving into the area in those areas, and that would mean cold temperatures for us. You can tell that the GFS just kind of keeps that trough situated in our area, and then it does show warmer air coming back into the area around the 10th, 11th, and 12th of March. That is way, way out there. And even the fact of this trough coming in, that's still way out there also. So it's not guaranteed that we're going to see cold weather going into the first few days of March after that storm system on the March 1st. What I do want to mention to you is the ingredients that are possibly coming together for some severe weather on Wednesday. Here is the dew point maps, and this is showing you how much moisture is in the air. Once we get into Monday morning, you can tell that's when the dew points begin to rise. We're beginning to see that moisture return to the area after a long, dry, cold weekend, and you can tell that they are popping up into the 50s, even into the low to mid 60s. That is very conducive for severe thunderstorms in the late winter and early spring months. Usually we're looking at around the mid to upper 50s or higher to see severe weather for this time of the year, but we're going to be well above that benchmark if this is correct. This would be Wednesday morning, and then eventually Wednesday afternoon. Those dew points will be spiking, and they would be going right ahead of that cold front. Then drier air would filter back in, and also colder air as well. Let's look at how the winds are going to be shaping up. It looks like we're going to be seeing some pretty windy conditions going into the picture on next Tuesday and Wednesday. Notice how by the time we get into next Tuesday afternoon, our winds are beginning to slowly increase, and then we see a rapid increase in winds on Wednesday afternoon. This is one of the reasons why I think Wednesday would be a little bit more of an eye to watch on than Tuesday, because of the winds on Wednesday are supposed to be higher than they are on Tuesday if this model is correct. And then that cold front would move through and the winds would go along with it. Let's look at the surface cape. This is showing you how much energy is in the atmosphere for storms to feed on. Usually for this time of the year, we're starting to look around maybe the 1,000 to 700 to 1,000 threshold for some severe weather in the area. And it looks like we're going to meet that as well, like I said, if this model is correct. Let's go ahead and move into Tuesday morning. We're starting to see a rapid rise to our southwest in the Cape values. We measure this in joules. And then as we begin to move into Wednesday morning, we are starting to see those rapidly increase into our area. And then right ahead of the cold front, once again, shaping up for Wednesday afternoon, showing the highest Cape values in our area. So that would mean the most energy would be on Wednesday afternoon if this model is correct. Now, as we move into let's see, this is the lapse rate. So this is basically showing you how fast is the temperature cooling as you go up into the atmosphere. So if you see a rapid decrease in temperatures, that is showing that you have a more unstable environment, which means that would be conducive for some severe storms. Now, if you have a stable environment, you usually see a gradual increase in your temperatures or a gradual decrease in your temperatures as you move your way up into the atmosphere. Notice how our lapse rates are going to be spiking right ahead of that cold front once again. They begin to rise on Tuesday, and then by next Wednesday, right ahead of that cold front, shaping up for Wednesday afternoon once again, our lapse rates would be between 7 and 8 in the area, and that would also be conducive for some severe storms. So I'm not saying that we're going to have severe storms, but I'm telling you, as of right now, we're still a few days away from this. The models are showing that we do have the potential to see some severe storms. Potential is the key word there. If I were to show you the Storm Prediction Center real quick and what they're showing, they have already put our area in the risk for some severe storms on Tuesday. This is your day 4, and then by Wednesday, here's your day 5, showing the severe storms. Right now, they're thinking the highest risk will be just to our south or barely scraping our area. I think they will eventually begin to move this a little bit further north as time goes on. Here's our temperatures over the next 10 days. Cold temperatures for Sunday in the upper 40s to low to mid 50s. Just to our south, the 60s are not too far away from us. Don't worry, they're coming for us. By Monday, we're beginning to move into the upper 50s, so we're getting close. And then there you go. Tuesday, you see those oranges and reds all over the map. That is 70s, my folks. And that is showing that we will have warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico rising right over and top our region. And that will be just in time for that cold front to come through. Temperatures, it's showing Wednesday to be cooler than Tuesday. I think Wednesday will be even warmer. That's another ingredient we need is warm temperatures. We should have those in place as well. And then our temperatures would fall very quickly. I think they will get colder than this. It looks like the air mass moving in right after this cold front, the models have beginning to show a little bit more of an aggressive trough moving into the area for the second half of this week after that cold front moves through. And so I think that we will see temperatures really just topping out in the upper 40s to low 50s for high temperatures on Thursday and Friday. By the time we get to Saturday, ahead of another storm system, another low pressure center passing off to our north and west, showing that this would be conducive for maybe some possible more thunderstorms for the area. And then what this model is not showing is colder temperatures for the 6th, 7th, and 8th. I believe the GFS model will be correct on a trough moving into the area around that time frame, but this is a blend of models, and as I already told you before, some of the models are seeing it, some aren't, so this is probably why this is not showing those colder temperatures, but we should begin to see these decrease throughout time. In the next week, it's showing around 1 to 2 inches of rainfall. It just depends on how these thunderstorms track. Some areas could end up with nothing, and your next door neighbor could end up with over an inch of rainfall. So we will have some scattered reports of maybe an inch of rain or more, and some people that will stay less than a half an inch. I am going to make another video this evening about what you can expect for next month in the month of March. We will have to wait and see if we have any winter ahead of us.